So this goes for absolutely everybody. The question that everybody wants to know is, why am I not losing body fat? And the reason you're not losing weight is because you're not eating in a calorie deficit. But let's go a little deeper than just calories in versus calories out. Very quickly before we begin, let me just define what a calorie deficit is for our beginners. So we have this thing called the maintenance calories. The maintenance calories is where if you eat that many calories per day, you won't gain any weight, but you also won't lose any weight either. You will stay the same. The calorie deficit is if you take, let's say, 500 calories away from that maintenance calories, you start to lose body fat and you're using that body fat as fuel to fuel you throughout the day. So now we've got that out of the way and everybody understands what a calorie deficit is. The reason that you're not losing body fat is because you're not eating in a calorie deficit. But the reason you're not eating in a calorie deficit is because you don't have the correct strategy to achieve that calorie deficit. And real quick, if you want to stay right until the end of the video, I'm actually going to tell you how to work out your calories to make sure you're eating in a calorie deficit. So make sure you stay right until the end for that. That strategy is tracking your calories. You need to be writing down how many calories you eat each day to ensure that you're eating in a calorie deficit. That includes everything. So everything that you put in your body, you need to make sure you track that. Even if it's a piece of chewing gum, whether it's a drink. And that includes all the hidden calories, things like condiments, different sauces, different ketchups and things like that. You need to be tracking those. If you're somebody that uses a lot of mayonnaise, there's a lot of calories in mayonnaise. So you have all of these different foods and drinks, your coffees, the sugar that you're adding to your coffee, the milk that you're adding to your coffee. All of these things add up throughout the day. And at the end of the day, if you're not tracking your calories, it's impossible to know that you're in a calorie deficit. You can definitely reach a certain level where you know the types of foods you're eating and you know how many calories are in those foods. So it becomes easier the more that you do it. I mean, for me, I've been doing this for 4 or 5 years consistently. I don't track calories and I can lose body fat because I know exactly how many calories are in each food that I eat. You can give me any food in my nutrition plan and I can tell you exactly how many calories are in it per gram. I know everything that I eat, I know every calorie that's in every food, and you can build up to that point, but for now you need to be tracking your calories to know that you're eating in that calorie deficit. So this goes for absolutely everybody. The question that everybody wants to know is, why am I not losing body fat? And the reason is because you're not eating in a calorie deficit. But the reason you're not eating in a calorie deficit is because you're not tracking everything that you eat. So for me personally, I write it down on a piece of paper when I am tracking calories, but you don't have to. You can write it down on a piece of paper. You can use the really popular apps such as MyFitnessPal, that works really well. I know a lot of people have success with that, so you can do what works for you. You might want to just use the notes section on your phone. But in order for you to reach your goals, you do need to start tracking your calories and understand the importance of it. At the end of the week, if you haven't lost any body fat, you'll be able to go through the list of things that you ate that week, and then you'll know exactly why you haven't lost any body fat. You'll look through the list and go, okay, there I had a few hundred calories over my limit on that day and maybe another day, and then that's the reason why you didn't lose body fat. It becomes clear to you. But what you don't want to do is be one of these people that say, I'm eating in a calorie deficit, and you get to the end of the week, you haven't lost any body fat, and it's because you're actually not eating in a calorie deficit, you just think you are. If you are getting any value from this video so far, you feel like you've learned something, then click the little red subscribe button and the bell icon as well. That will notify you every time I upload a new YouTube video. So I've told you everything you need to know. If you don't actually know how to eat in a calorie deficit, then my recommendation is to take your body weight in pounds and multiply that number by 10 to 12, anywhere in that range, and try eating that many calories per day. That's just a good starting point to know round about where your calorie deficit should be.